everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm coming on today to do a project with you, a tutorial. I'm going to be doing it probably in 2 or 3 parts. This is a requested tutorial and it's for how to make one of these albums. Now I showed this album on one of my videos that I done a couple of days ago if you want to check it out. And I've had a few people ask me how I created it. Now this is a no chipboard album. There is no chipboard in the cover. It is all made by card, but as you can see the pages themselves are thick. You see here they're really thick, and they're really sturdy, and that's because the amount of layers that we put on it, so it doesn't really need any chipboard. So this is a non-chipboard album, so if you're want to make an album with a chipboard, this video is not for you. I will do another video with an album, making an album with chipboard. It's just not this one. So let's get started. So first of all, what we're going to look at is the binding system. How to actually make the basics of our album. Now this album is going to be 8 1/4 tall, so 8 1/4 this way, and this way it's going to be 6 1/4, so it's 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. So basically that is the size of your pages. So what we need to make our binding system is 3 pieces of card. Now everything that I have cut out to make the album has came from A4 sheets. Let's see if I can just straighten it up a wee bit. Yeah, it's all been cut from A4 sheets. So first of all, what we need is a piece that measures 8 1/4 long ways. Now this is, I didn't cut this down at all. This is the full length of my A4 sheet. So, like, I'll let you see this one. This is my full A4 sheet, and as you can see, that is the full width of it. So it's 8 1/4 by 4 inches. So 8 1/4 by 4 inches. That's the first piece we need. And then this one is 8 1/4 by 3 inches. And then our last piece for the binding is 8 1/4 by 2 inches. Now what we're going to do is take our scoreboard. Now if you don't have a scoreboard, you can do this with a ruler and a scoring tool or a pencil. So you don't have to have a scoreboard. This just makes it a little bit easier. So what we're going to do is on the long ways, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch all the way down, 1/2 inch, turn it round and score 1/2 inch on the opposite side. So if you can see, we have 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch scored. Can you see that on both sides? And we're going to do that on all 3 pieces. So now this is the 8 1/4 by our 3, and we're going to score this at 1/2 inch on this side, and then 1/2 inch on this side again. You can just about see that. And then this one, we're going to score 1/2 inch again, and turn it round, and then 1/2 inch on this side. So that bit's relatively simple. Like I say, if you don't have a scoreboard, you could use a ruler, measure in 1/2 inch, mark it off, and then just even fold it up against your ruler, and then just fold it over. So that is the scoring that we're doing just now. We'll pop that away. So what we're going to do now is take our pieces that we've just scored and fold over on the score marks, like so, on all 3 pieces. So we're basically just scoring and folding over all our 1/2 inch marks. So this is, I looked at lots of different videos, different posts on Pinterest, lots of videos on YouTube, and basically this was the easiest binding system that I came across. And believe me, I've tried it. I tried it loads and loads of different ones and came across them quite a lot. The album itself, I took different measurements from different books. Same with the bits, the flaps and everything inside, the pockets. I really just took bits and pieces that I liked from all different albums and different people's ideas. Then I had some of my own ideas for like double pockets and things like that. So I just added it all together. And this is the measurements and things that I came up with. So, obviously when you're doing your own, if you want to put in your own measurements and things, you can. So, what we're going to do now is we need some wet glue for this piece. And what have I done with? Oh, goodness me. I'm always losing something. Oh, I can't find it. I'm looking for my pokey tool, but I don't know what I've done with it. I think my glue is open anyway. So we're going to lay down the largest piece, and then take our second largest piece, and you want to put your glue on the back. So you've got your flaps to the front, and you want to glue on the back. So we're just putting our glue all the way around, because we want to put on, we don't want to have that much glue that it's sticking out the edges, but we want to put on enough glue in the middle bit to make sure that it is going to stick and be secure. And then, now you can measure this. You can put, if you want, you can put a pencil line in. I'll show you here. You can measure it in from your fold. If this makes it easier for you, measure in 1/2 inch from that side and 1/2 inch from that side, and draw yourself a pencil mark down. But I don't. I just put it in by eye, and what you're doing is putting it roughly in the centre. So it should roughly be 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch here. And just lining it up at the top and bottom to make sure that it's straight. Making sure that it's lined up, and then just applying some pressure to make sure that it's stuck all the way down. Like so. And then you've got these two. And then you take your last piece, the smallest piece, and again glue on the back. So you've got flaps on the front, glue on the back. Lots of glue all the way up. So I've put quite a lot of glue on the back. And again, you just want to, you can measure 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch if you like to, and put your pencil marks in again, but I don't. I'm not really one for doing a lot of measuring. I just like to try and do it by eye. So I'm just sort of popping it in the centre, making sure that it's level at the bottom, like so. Just giving it a wee, that's what's good about this Anita's tacky glue and using wet glue, because you get a wee minute if you feel your measurements aren't quite right. You can just move it about, you get some wiggle time. And I think that looks a bit right, so I'm just going to, it doesn't have to be 100% anyway, because you're never going to notice it in a million years if it's not bang on. So, just make sure I've got no glue at the top, no glue at the bottom. That is how simple this binding system is. Really easy to make. If you wanted to, you could go down again in size, but I like just to have this many pages. So this gives me, it's so 6 including the front and back cover, so you've really got 12 pages to decorate. So I feel for an album that's really about enough. So see that, I think. So that's half an inch, and that's half an inch, so that's 1 inch. Yeah, so that's right. So, sorry, I was just double checking my measurements there to make sure that I was right, but I am. So now what we need to do is we put this to the side and let it dry a wee bit. And then we need our pages of our book. So, like I said, this album is going to be 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. So you need 6 pieces of card. This card I'm using is about 250 GSM. I wouldn't use any lighter than that. 250 is the lightest I would use. You can go like 300, 350, but keep in mind that we're going to be putting on layers on both sides, so it is going to become really quite sturdy anyway. So you need 6 pieces of this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. So obviously your 8 1/4 is this way. So now what we're going to do is stick these on to our binding. Now you can leave your binding longer to dry. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. And then what we're going to do is, this piece is a piece that's facing me. So when I turn it round, it's facing me. So I'm going to put my piece right over here. You can stick it behind if you want and have it that way, but I think it's neater on the front cover to have it that way, over the top. So what I'm going to do is just put my glue all the way. Let me explain something quickly, because I made this mistake as well. Try not to put your glue all the way down to your score line. Leave a couple of millimetres just out from the score line, and that is so that when the album opens and closes, it opens and closes easier. You'll see what I mean once we've glued it all together. So I'm going to put on my first piece. Oops, sorry, I'm going to turn it around so that it faces me so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just making sure that it's a few millimetres above my score line. I'm making sure that it's straight. I'm sorry if you can't see it very well here, I'll show you in a wee second. And then I'm just laying it down, making sure it's lined up at both edges, and giving it a good squeeze down. Just making sure, double checking my straightness, and that looks about right, and then opening it up and just giving it a good rub along. And don't worry if you've got any wee bits of marks of glue here, because you're going to cover this up anyway. So just give it a good push down, turn it over and give it a good push down, taking off any wee extra bits of glue. So that's our first page attached. You can see that. First page attached to our binding. So what we're going to do now is just go on and attach it on the same side, on every one, all the way over. So next page, next page, next page, next page, next page. So I'm going to pause and do that, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm just gluing on my last page, like so, making sure it's all lined up, and then close it over, making sure it's stuck on both sides. So you can see that once you've done the binding on this, it's a relatively simple album to put together. So now we have our, just fold it in that way as well, album. Get rid of some of this glue. So it just opens up And that's what I like about the No Chipboard album, because when you open it, you can lie it flat to look at it. You see, I'll show you with this album. When you open it up, you can lie it out. So when you're showing people, instead of having it like bulky like this and opening it like this, you can lie it flat and look at it like that, which I really like. So that is the main body of our album created. So what we need now is 12 mats, and these are for both sides of every single page in the book. So every side is going to have a mat on it, but we don't want to stick them on yet because we don't know what we're going to put on each page. Some are going to have lift ups, envelopes, things like that, so we need to wait. But you need 12 of these. Now these are 8 by 6 inches, so we need that. So what we can do, and this, I'll do this and then I'll end this video and then we can go on to decorating the pages. But what we can do is, we know that there's obviously not going to be any flaps on the front page unless you would like to make them, which is totally obviously up to yourself. So we can put on our first. Now I am making this in whites, creams and blacks, and the reason being, I'll show you, I'm going to make this one into a wedding album. So this is what I like about this album as well. You can just push it flat, and when you're doing your matting and layering, it makes it so much easier than having to do it when the album has a thick chipboard outer edge. So I'm just popping on my mat on the front because I know that that is going to be a flat page, and then I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to take another one and I'm just going to put it on the back because I know that my back's going to be a flat page. Oops, I'll just pop this on. I use wet glue all the way through my album. I feel like it strengthens the pages, it gives them some, makes them quite rigid. You don't have to, you can use wet glue, double-sided tape or the red super sticky tape or Pritt stick or whatever else your preference are. The glue, pens, runners that a lot of people like. I just like wet glue because I really do feel like it adds some, what's the word, rigidity. You know what I mean, it makes the pages more rigid. Okay, so that's that one. And then obviously we need a bit for the back spine. So what I do is the other half, these pieces here that I cut out are the 8 by 6s for our mats. Now these were cut off a whole sheet of A4. So the pieces that I have left, I'm going to use for making the flaps and the fold outs and the waterfalls, and also making the spine. So you don't really waste anything. So what I do, how I do it, I don't have a specific measurement for this, but you'll find that a lot throughout the book. I just think it makes it easier to make. I line it up with here, with my mat here, get a pencil, and I just make a wee mark so that I've got a white border all the way around the edge, like so. And then I'm just going to take my trimmer, my squeaky trimmer, and I'm just going to cut off where I need it, like so. Sorry about that, it's really squeaky. And then see which part it was that I needed, which was this one. Add my glue. Into the back, and then I'm just going to line this up the best I can with the other panel here, push it down so I've got a nice white border all the way around the edge. You can see that? And that is the outside decorated with your mats. And then we'll go on to do the white on the inside. But we will leave it there just now because we're going to take it a page at a time. So just give that an extra wee push down. So come back for part 2 if you'd like to see me make the inside pages. I'm going to stick to the formula I had done on this book. So the first page that we're going to do when we come back is this one, which has the pocket at the top and the 2 flip outs. So yeah, please come back for part 2. I hope you do, guys. Give this video a wee thumbs up and I will see you all soon. Thank you.